Hey YouTube, Steve Crowner the Dog Soldier here. Thanks for joining us on the channel. It is a beautiful Sunday morning, man. Tell you what, I'm sitting in the shady side of the house in front of a trailer, a 10-foot trailer that I put plywood sides on so I could throw all the stuff out of the house in here and haul to the dump. And what I mean stuff is like we bought this house in Sheridan, Wyoming to flip. And so we're remodeling it and constantly working on it. So I got out of bed this morning and I have a routine. I make my coffee. I grab a pipe. I choose a tobacco. This morning I'm smoking Lane's 1Q out of a Dagner poker. And I come outside, and for 30 minutes in the morning, I sit and think. And that's where the Fearless Conversation videos popped up. I started thinking, and well, it's starting to cool off a little bit. It's still hotter than hell throughout the day, but the mornings and evenings are real cool here. So I'm really starting to think coyote hunting, and I'm really wanting to start getting in gear. And then I thought to myself, I spend a lot of time thinking about everyday life in these Fearless Conversation videos, and then I'm posting hunt videos. Well, let's have some coyote conversation videos, okay? Not quite for sure if I'm going to label this video or not, but I think what I'm going to do is label these videos Coyote Conversation. And they're going to be little seminar type videos just like this, just me and you. And we're going to talk about coyote hunting. Now, first thing I want to talk about is the basics. Like, this is the basics, man. First of all, this is my job. Shooting coyotes is my job, but most importantly, marketing is my job. I've never coined myself as an expert. I've always been an outdoor personality or an entertainer. You'll never find anywhere where I call myself a professional coyote hunter or an expert, but I'm fairly successful at killing coyotes, and I'm fairly successful at getting them on video, and I'm very successful in marketing, and that's why I'm in this position. So first of all, what I want to tell all you guys is that when you invest your time and your effort in clicking that YouTube button, it means a lot to us. I don't really make a dime off of YouTube. I really don't. But it's great marketing. It's a great platform for my store, which makes money. And it's a great platform for my show, which makes money. So with that being said, on top of my custom pipe making and my holster making and the online store and everything, I make a pretty good living in this industry. And I realized I couldn't do it without you guys. Okay? Thing about it is, if you guys invest your time and you guys invest your effort and you click that button, or you send an email, or you send a message, or let's just say you invest yourself into an outdoor personality or a coyote killer or a TV guy, part of the basics is, okay, what do I get? Well, you get a learning platform for one, because we are fairly successful, and some of us don't throw product in your face like a bunch of car salesmen. Myself, I might say Flextone FLX, or I might say Dog Soldier FLX 150 times. I don't know. But you know what? It is facts. If Les Johnson's killing with the Johnny Stewart call, he's going to say, I killed him with the Johnny Stewart call. It's not necessarily that he's trying to sell you that. He's just telling you that he's killing with that call. And then if Al's killing with the Fox Pro, he's going to say, yeah, I killed him with the Fox Pro Shockwave. Yada, yada, yada. It's not that we're trying to sell you that call, but it is our job to give you enough information to make a good, educated decision at shelf. So that's where all the product talk comes from. It really sucked if I said, yeah, I put my call out 50 yards in front of me and pushed a button, and then I'd have to have 1,000 emails a week on what call that was. These videos get watched, some of them 150, 200,000 times a year. This YouTube channel's been watched 700,000 times since November. Can you imagine if I didn't give you the information? So that's part of the basics, is information. I do these Fearless Conversation videos. I do the Coyote Conversation videos now. I do the YouTube channel now because it's my job. I could tell you guys, hey, for $3.99 a month, you can join my club and get one-on-one with Steve Kreiner. But you already got it, so you don't have to pay for it, you know. It's not my job. My job is marketing for companies, and we are fine-tuned right now, and all our sponsors are really great. We don't have no black magic, no voodoo, no BS products. We're rolling. I'll sell you everything that I use in my show, and I can promise you I'm not going to get a call back and you're going to hate it. It's no fake mojo to it, no snake oil. It's all fine tuned, okay? Really fine tuned right now. You know, there's a lot of crappy products in the market right now, and we're fine tuned and we got everything rolling. So anyway, now that I got that out of the way, let's just talk about killing a coyote, okay? This video is titled Coyote Conversation. It's not rocket science. And the reason why is it's not rocket science, okay? If you want to be a successful coyote hunter overnight, if you want to flip that switch, listen to what I've got to say right now. I'm not an expert, but I'm a guy from Southwest Missouri that sheesh, man. See, I'm 38. I started hunting predators 24 years ago when I was 14. And I killed my first predator when I was 16. It took 2 years. And then it took another 2 years to even get where I killed more than one a year. But when that switch flipped, my whole life changed. And let me tell you why it switched. Me and my Uncle Mark Carver, we used to go squirrel hunting. And there used to be this little country church with some walnut trees all over the yard. We'd go out there, sit in the back of the truck, and shoot squirrels till we killed a mess. Then we'd go home, cook them, and eat them. Well, we'd do that every Saturday we wanted to, because they would always come back. There's plentiful habitat there. They're going to come back. Same thing with coyotes. If it's great habitat, there's always a coyote ready to filter back in. So I'm going to tell you the story of my first predator. It was a gray fox. And I'm going to tell you why that switch flipped. Okay, now, so like, I'm 16 years old. I'm going to just tell you how I got started real quick. So I had this uncle. And I am very honest. I'm a very honest person. I'm very straightforward. So I'm just going to tell you the truth. My Uncle Clifford was a drunk. My Uncle Clifford run coyotes with a bunch of guys, really great guys, in Dallas County, Missouri, with hounds. Nobody ever really called anything in there. Well, one Sunday morning, my Aunt Kay and Uncle Robert showed up, and I was not the priority of my Uncle Clifford, obviously, so I didn't get to go coyote hunting much, but he did take me, and I was appreciative to that because he introduced me to the coyote. But one Sunday morning, I was sitting there on the chair, and I was pretty pissed off, and I was sulking, you know, like a 14-year-old kid will do. My Uncle Robert said, "Why in the world, what's wrong with you, Stevie?" I said, "Well, I didn't get to go coyote hunting this morning." Well, Grandma had talked to Kay that morning and kind of told him what was going on, and he threw a flat top tape recorder in my lap and a cassette tape. And now that I'm telling you this story, I may change the whole title of the video, so anyway. But anyway, through this flat top recorder with a cassette tape in it, it was a Johnny Stewart Jackrabbit in Distress. I had no clue what it even was. I pushed the button and it was, I'm like, what the son of a, you know. I said, what am I going to do with this? First of all, what is this? He said, that's a dying rabbit, Stevie. He said, all you got to do is go sit down, lay this beside you, push a button, and shoot them when they come in. And obviously my Uncle Robert had done it before, and I didn't know what he's talking about. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, coyotes will run to you. You don't have to have dogs. You don't have to nothing. You don't have to have your drunk ass Uncle Clifford. You just go out and coyote hunt. So I did. And so anyway, nothing. I didn't kill nothing for a long time. Didn't even see a coyote, man. But I believed in that tape. So when I turned 16, I had to quit walking everywhere. And I had a 78 Ford pickup truck. And me and old Jeff offered one day, Saturday morning, we just got about 8 or 9 inches of snow, and we got in that old Ford truck. It's a four-wheel drive short bed. We start driving down the road, and we go to this public ground called Lead Mine, and we always used to go down there and shoot at stuff. And well, we seen these tracks across the road. I got out and I said, oh man, them's coyote tracks. They were going that way. So I pulled off in the ditch, put my Pioneer speaker on top of the truck, put that tape in that deal, because since I was 16, I was instantly lazy. Pushed the button, ran over to the other side of the ditch. We sat down and right there in the road ditch, you know. Back then, things were a little different. You know, the conservation people and they supported people a little different than they do now. I'm not saying conservationists are bad. I'm just saying back then you could sit in the road ditch anywhere and call something if you wanted, and you're not going to go to jail or get a ticket. But anyway, so I see this thing hopping up the holler, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a mountain lion. Wait, it's a bobcat. And I'm like, wait, what is that? I'd never seen a gray fox in my life. I remember he's gray and had red on him. Really nice red to him, tint to him too. He jumped up on this stump and I shot him. I was so excited. I'd killed my first predator. Well, I got a bonus when I got up to him. You know, I ran down the holler and I had a bonus. I'd actually killed my first 2 predators. I forgot to tell you guys I was shooting a Remington Model 700 30-06 and I was shooting 110 grain Core-Lokt soft points. Predator 1, Predator 2. Front half of the fox was right here, second half of the fox was right here. I'd shot that little booger right in half, and of course I had to take it home. And I told Grandpa, my Grandpa Truman, bless his soul, man. But anyway, I told my Grandpa Truman I'd killed a red fox, and he's like, that's a gray fox, Stevie. Well, he had red on him, I just figured he was red. But anyway, that's the story of my first predator, and what's most important about that, that's not when the switch flipped, but that's when the electrician of predator hunting installed the switch into my wall. Now it was just my job to find my way through the dark to that switch and flip it. And I'll tell you that happened. So I was 16, and about the time when I was 17 and a half or 18, I still wasn't killing a lot of predators, but that fox was in my mind all the time. Why in the hell did it happen so easy that one time, and now I can't hardly kill nothing? And then I got to thinking. When we wanted to kill red squirrels, this is basic woodmanship here. This is not rocket science. When we wanted to kill red squirrels, we went to the churchyard. Not to get blessed, we went to get a mess of squirrels. Because they were there. And my Uncle Mark knew it, and he wanted to show me a good time, and we wanted to mess the squirrels. They were there. No work to it whatsoever. No rocket science. No walking 2 miles through the woods. No, nothing. The freaking squirrels were there. So we went to the churchyard. killing 6 or 10 squirrels. 6 or 10 squirrels a week was nothing. One time we killed a bunch of red squirrels and a bunch of gray squirrels moved in. And we started killing them too. I love a pipe. It gets me thinking. It gets me sane. I relax very well. And this is my morning routine. And it's going to benefit me. It's going to benefit everybody because I do these videos. What other coyote guy are you going to find sitting in front of a job trailer, smoking a pipe, telling you how to flip that switch? It's all about scouting. It's all about the coyotes, and it's all about the setup. You can't, okay, there's one thing you can't change in coyote life. You can't kill a coyote if you don't have coyotes, period, okay? You cannot kill coyotes if you don't have coyotes, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, I'm a big whitetail hunter. I grew up shooting turkeys, and I grew up shooting whitetails, and I was a great bow hunter. I love bow hunting. I've killed, I don't know how many poking young bucks. I've killed a lot of big deer, and my switch flipped went from smaller deer to big deer when I realized you can't kill a 150-inch deer if you don't have one. In some parts of the United States, it's very easy to not have a 150-inch deer. Think about that, okay? If you go down to the local saloon and you're single and you want to go down to the local saloon, I don't drink, but if you go down to the local saloon and you want to pick up a hot chick or pick up a chick, period, and there ain't no chicks there, you're not going to pick up a chick. Same thing with coyote hunting. If you go make a coyote stand and there is no coyotes there, and the typical response I get is, Kreiner, I know there are coyotes here. I hear them howling all the time. I see their tracks. I see their scat. Okay, so you have a place where coyotes have been. The word is have. Because if you're seeing scat, if you're seeing tracks, that's all in the past tense. If you see coyotes in the flesh, that's when you have coyotes. One key word there, when. Okay, so if you have tracks, you have scat, you have everything you need, then you have to figure out when they're there. Coyote can move up to 5 miles a day very easily, so just because he's in a cut hayfield every morning at 9 o'clock in the morning don't mean you can go kill him out of that hayfield at 5 o'clock at night when you get off work. That's the total misconception of a coyote. Farmer Joe Bob hears them howling in his house at 8 o'clock every night. He's like, man, they're back here every night. Well, you know what? Them coyotes are being heard by everybody within 5 miles, probably. Okay? So then now everybody has a lot of coyotes, and there may be in a 2 or 3 5 mile square radius. You know, that's let's just say 5 miles by 5 miles. 5 square miles or whatever that would be. That would be 10 or 25 square miles. I don't know what it is, but anyway, think about it. It don't take long for a coyote to go to 5 miles. So if you got one farm road, everybody on that road may hear the same 5 coyotes or same 3 coyotes typically, or same 2 coyotes. I used to take coffee. When my switch flipped, I really started figuring out, like, when I figured out I had to have coyotes to kill coyotes, everything changed, okay? I assumed there was coyotes everywhere, but there's not. I don't give a crap where you live. You can fill me full of all the bull crap that you want. Unless you see them in the flesh, you have no idea when they're there unless you have somebody seeing them in the flesh. And that's when you have to start scouting. There is a little bit of work to this. It's not rocket science, but it's as simple as grabbing a thermos of coffee on a frosty morning and driving 20 miles, a 20-mile loop over and over and over again. Get you a sandwich from McDonald's, get you a thermos of coffee, and drive that and relax and enjoy life. And, you know, November you're going to see bucks running does, and you're going to see turkeys, and you're going to see coyotes, and you're going to see when they're there and where they're there, and then you're going to get permission. You know, if you see a coyote in the morning at a said place at 9 a.m., more than likely he may not be there, but there's some kind of population there to support 9 a.m. Okay, think about it. You don't have to make that stand at 9 a.m., but you got to be somewhere in that vicinity. Early morning. When it's really cold outside, especially in the Midwest, I notice I'd see a lot more coyotes at 10 or 11 o'clock in the day than I would early in the morning because it's sunny and it's warming up. The grass that's has dew on it from the frost is starting to blow off. There's a Ella, quit, damn dog. But anyway, so there's a lot of factors you have to keep in check. It's not rocket science. It's so freaking easy to scout for coyotes because if you find tracks, you have coyotes, but you don't know when. So then go out early in the morning and howl. Get you an MFK howler or Dog Soldier FLX. We got some good vocals, and I'm getting ready to come out with a new library. Go out and use a yip howl or some kind of group howl and freaking get these coyotes or siren. Get these coyotes to answer you back. And okay, so I got coyotes right here before daylight every morning. Well, they've been somewhere in that vicinity all night hunting because coyotes are technically a nocturnal animal. But so like if they're howling at night, let's say you go right after dark and you get them to howl, then you're talking about coyotes are probably coming off their bedding area or their daytime area. Coyotes move a lot in the day. They can move 5 miles in the daylight. I'm not saying they're only nocturnal animals, but technically they like dark. They don't. Oh, there's a chipmunk. Oh, damn. They don't like sunlight. Yeah, you can see them out sunning in the sun. You can see them. But when they come to the call, hazy days are always better. I mean, you're going to pick up certain things like that through the process. But it's still not rocket science because to get that switch to flip, all you got to do is find coyotes. Okay, so we've talked about finding coyotes. We've talked about flipping that switch. So let's talk about the next step. I always say in my seminars, you can't kill coyotes if you don't have coyotes, and you can't kill the coyotes you have if you can't get to them. If you're seen, heard, or smelled before you get to said coyotes, you're done. So then you got to worry about the setup, wind the most importantly. Now, when I go down to southern Arkansas and hunt with Tory Cook in the thick timber, I can literally go down there and we can kill coyotes for 3 days straight and see coyotes on every stand damn near 3 days straight hunting thick timber. Are we going to kill every one of them? No. That's what's fun about it. You sit down on that stand and am I going to kill this one? Or am I not going to kill this one? And that's for another seminar video later, hunting thick timber. But what I'm saying is, Tori does an extensive amount of calling and locating these coyotes with howls, so he knows what area they're in. So another thing is, we locate the coyotes before we ever move in on them. Okay? So we know they're there. So then we start getting the wind. We don't run through the woods like a herd of buffalo. We try to be quiet. We found the coyotes. We know they're there. We know when they're there. We make good solid steps by getting in there quiet, keeping the wind right. Not saying they ain't going to circle downwind and wind us in that thick timber, but we're doing everything right. My favorite setup is a crosswind. I'm technically an open country hunter. I hunt a lot of thick stuff, don't get me wrong, but videoing for video purposes, I've evolved into an open country type hunter. My damn dog is about to drive me crazy. But anyway, I like a crosswind because 99% of the time, if you allow a coyote to, he will get downwind. If you don't shoot him, he will get downwind. So I always like to see the downwind. That's my main goal in a setup. That's Steve Kreiner's click. I want to see downwind. I don't give a crap if I'm facing New York City. I want to see downwind. But where I can, which is typically a crosswind, I can see my approach area and I can see downwind and everything's fine. So we've switched the flip, we flipped the switch. We've got a good setup. We've got there without being seen, heard, or smelled. Now, it's time to start playing music and see if we can get a coyote to dance. That's for another video, though. I feel like I'm on Netflix. Like one of them TV series where you like you watch this series and then all of a sudden it goes off. That's next episode, blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway, you know, we're at 24 minutes, 25 minutes. This is typically a video that's not going to be watched much. That's my girls calling. Peace out, homies. I'll catch y'all later. Hey, what's going on?